Hi, my name is Lisa Levin. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Indiana. I have been working as a therapist since, well, I guess before 2002, if you count my internships. And I received my master's from the University of Michigan in 2002. Go Blue. Um, I have a lot of different letters behind my name because I've been working so long and been certified in so much and trained in so much. So I'm trained in things like EMDR and ACT and certified as uh, I guess I'm considered a certified addiction specialist, CAS. Those go behind my name. I'm a board certified diplomat and hopefully I'm impressing you guys a lot because I'm just impressive like that. But the most recent letters behind my name are CECP, which is Certified Emotion Code Practitioner. And this was surprising to me because I am on the psychology side of stuff. I've never ventured over to the energy healing side until recently. So it was an accident that I came across the Emotion Code book, thinking I was going to be reading something on the psychology side. Turned out to be a how-to manual on how to do this emotion code. And I thought, right, I read the book, I heard the stories, and I thought, yep, too good to be true, too good to be true. And so I thought I'd do a little research on it because it still was intriguing. So, um, Tony Robbins was the one who did the foreword, I think, and there were all these fantastical stories about, oh, I have all this pain in my shoulder, and then I'm gonna rub my hand over my head a few times, and whoosh, my shoulder is perfect. So I thought, yeah, no, don't think so. But long story short, I am now certified as an emotion code practitioner because I didn't find a whole lot negative about it. And the negative I did find was not reliable negative. It was, oh, I haven't even read the book, but I'm going to tell you it's BS. Or I read the book, but I never had it done, but I'm going to tell you it's BS. So I found an article by a psychologist, and I was pretty impressed with that article. And so I decided to give it a shot, taught myself how to do it. And even with just teaching myself how to do it, I had such interesting and amazing results that I thought, this is worth it. This is worth it. I mean, I saw somebody's depression go away. That was pretty extreme. I saw somebody's voices get under control. My thought is that the release of their negative trapped emotions caused their medicine to be able to work better. Um, I have answered questions that I had no way of knowing the answers to um, for other people, which was weird. And even in myself, I had some physical improvements, as well as this is really weird. I've been allergic to nuts for my entire life, tree nuts. Like I can eat peanuts, but I can't eat tree nuts. And so I was just kind of fooling around, asking my subconscious some questions using the muscle testing technique. And I was asking, am I allergic to almonds? And of course, the answer was yes. And am I allergic to cashews? And yes. How about pistachios? Yes. How about pecans? No. I was like, what? No. Yes, I am. I am allergic to pecans. I have been allergic to pecans my whole life. And it did not matter what way I phrased the question or how I tried to trick myself. I never could get a yes for, are you allergic to pecans? And a friend of mine plunked down a bucket of butter pecan ice cream and a vat of vitamin C, and she said, we're trying this. Because for me, vitamin C will take away the reaction. I don't recommend anybody else try it, but if I have an allergic reaction and I drown myself in vitamin C, it goes away. So I knew that was true, so I thought, okay, so here we go. I'm going to test this out. And I tested it out. I ate more nut than I've ever ingested in my life, which probably equaled like a half a pecan. And yeah, didn't need that vitamin C. I did not need that vitamin C. Now, Do I eat pecans to this day? No, I do not, because I am just too weirded out by that. And I still consider I'm allergic to pecans, but I can't tell you how surprised I was that my subconscious could tell me that I wasn't allergic to something that I've believed I've been allergic to my whole life. So there is some legitimate, um, well, it's legitimate. I mean, I can't explain all the positive results. I'd say out of everybody that I have used this on, both pre-certified and post-certified, um, at least 80-85% of my clients have had significant positive results. And then I'd say another 10-15% have had positive results, maybe not as significant, but positive results. So only a handful of people have ever not wanted to continue it. Um, so what is the emotion code? So the emotion code is a way of releasing negative, trapped emotional energy from your body, your brain, wherever it might be trapped. And what I find interesting is that being trained in EMDR, the psychology side says trauma gets trapped in the nervous system. And the energy side's, well, the emotion code says that emotions get trapped anywhere in the body. Well, those two seem to agree with each other then, because where does the nervous system go except everywhere in the body? And what is trauma? Well, trauma is not an emotion, but it is a lot of emotions, a lot of very, very troubling emotions. So, yes, trauma equals many emotions, and it gets trapped somewhere in the nervous system, which is all over the body. So, in this case, psychology and emotion work, energy work agrees with each other. So, I like that. Um, so, basically, there are 7 different types of trapped emotional energy. I mean, emotions are energy, right? Everything's energy. Words are energy. Um, so you can get what's called a common trapped emotion, which is one of 60 different trapped emotions. Um, the emotion code has a chart of 60 names of emotions, and there's 2 columns and 6 rows. And in each box, there are 5 names of emotions. So I will put a copy of the chart somewhere in this video or down below with a link so that you can see what I'm talking about. But according to Bradley Nelson, this is universal knowledge. So if my energy knows it and I'm connected into your energy, then you know it too. So you don't need to memorize this chart. I can just refer to it and figure out which of these 60 trapped emotions you have. Now, we all know that there's more than 60 trapped emotions. I mean, not trapped. We all know that there's more than 60 emotions. So other languages have names for emotions that we do not. So if you have a trapped emotion that's not on the list, then it's going to be an emotion that runs on the same frequency as one on the list. So since emotions are energy, they each have their own frequency, kind of like a sound wave. And all apparently emotions can relate to one of those emotions on the chart. So if your emotion is not on the chart, then we can get to the one that runs on the same frequency or wavelength as the one that's trapped in you. So we can still remove those. So for example, the word loss, L-O-S-S, is not on the chart, but the word grief is on the chart. And they're very similar. loss, and grief. So if you have trapped loss inside you, what will come up is trapped grief. And that will work just the same because they run on the same frequency. Um, so that's the emotion code chart. And those are the 60 trapped emotions. And the common trapped emotions are just emotions that are trapped and are pretty easy to identify and release. And they can be any of those 60. There are hidden trapped emotions, which are one of the 60, but just hidden. You know, we talk about, oh, that's very deep, or that's repressed. Think of it as that, or a Pez dispenser. You know, you remove one and another pops up. Um, buried, buried down inside, those are hidden. And the significance of hidden trapped emotions is that you have to actually identify them specifically or they won't go away. So if I identify you have trapped grief in you and I help you to get rid of it, then I say, are we done? I mean, were we successful at releasing this trapped grief? And the answer is yes. You still could have trapped grief, only hidden, because it won't come out unless we identify it completely and specifically. I don't know why I said completely. But anyway, specifically. So those are the hidden. So we have common and hidden. And then there's inherited. Inherited just means that somebody somewhere in your generational family line created this trapped emotion and then off it went in their genetics and it got passed on to maybe your grandparents and then got passed on to your parents and now you get it. Yay, lucky you. Those two have to be identified specifically in order to be released. Now, the cool thing about inherited is that once you release yours, then anybody who has that same inherited trapped emotion in your family gets it released. So if your sibling got it, goes away from her or him, it goes away from their parent that gave it to you. And interestingly enough, if you believe in spirits, souls, that kind of stuff, your ancestors who have already passed on, they also get released of this trapped burden. So that's kind of cool. Change in worlds. So that's inherited. And then we have shared. A shared trapped emotion is you go through the same trauma or experience, emotional experience with somebody else, at least one more person. Could be a lot of people. You know, take 9/11, for example. Hundreds of thousands of people were impacted by that. Maybe a million. I don't know. I don't know how many. I haven't done the research, but everybody might share the same trapped emotion. If we identify that you have that emotion and you get it released, everyone gets it released. So good for you for doing the world a service. That is the shared. And then there's absorbed. Absorbed trapped emotions. You might be with somebody. I was with a girlfriend when she found out her sister died tragically in a car accident. And oh, the emotion that came out. She was in shock and suffering, and I could have absorbed some of that. And even though it wasn't mine, I could have absorbed some. Doesn't save her from anything, but it just gives me something. So I don't know if I did or not, but I could have. Uh, that's absorbed. So what we did common, absorbed, inherited, hidden, prenatal. Oh, and we did shared. So we now have prenatal. If you happen to be in the womb and mom goes through something very emotional, then it might get trapped in you. I have kind of a cool story about that. I was working with a lady. I was just started. I had just taught myself how to do it, and I was working with a friend of mine, and she had just gotten pregnant after having a tragic loss of a baby. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. So she was rightly very anxious, and she didn't want to be. So we were working to see if we could help tone down her anxiety. And I found helplessness in her gallbladder. And I told her, and she said, that's impossible. I had my gallbladder removed. And I said, well, oh great, this is where I start looking stupid. Let me just check and see. I didn't say the stupid thing out loud, but so I started asking, is it where the gallbladder used to be? No. Was it taken away with the gallbladder? No. But you have helplessness trapped in your gallbladder? Yes. And it didn't matter what I asked, I got the same answer. So I finally gave up and I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm new at this. Maybe it's wrong. Apparently, it's not always 100% correct. And she said, well, funny. I was at my sonogram last week and my nurse was pointing out my baby's gallbladder. I said, really? And she said, well, I mean, she was pointing out all the organs, but she pointed to the gallbladder, and we were joking about how I got mine removed, and then I grew another. And I said, really? And I asked, and sure enough, the trapped helplessness was in the baby's gallbladder. So I found that fascinating, and that made my confidence grow. So yes, prenatal. And then there is preconception. Preconception, ladies, we're all born with all our eggs intact. So let's say I get a trapped emotion in my ovary, and then my ovary spits out a little egg, and that egg becomes my daughter. Yay for my daughter. She's already got a trapped emotion. Sorry. So those are all 7. And then there's also something called the heart wall. The heart wall is a wall of trapped emotions slammed up against each other to create protection around your heart. Our heart is the seat of, I guess it's the main terminal of emotions, or I don't know if terminal is a good word to use there. I don't know, but it's major in the emotion game. So this is why we always feel so much pressure in our chest when we're very upset. Part of the reason, at least. So we build this wall around our heart, kind of like a bunker. And this was the metaphor that was used, I think, in Bradley Nelson's book. When the bullets are flying and the bombs are falling, you jump behind the bunker to protect yourself. And then when the war is over, off you go, time to live life again. The problem is that with the heart wall, it doesn't go away. So we stay trapped behind a heart wall, which in my experience, because I can feel mine, it mutes all of my emotions. So my happy emotions aren't really happy. They're just kind of muted, and I don't get to experience the full color of life. Now, for myself, I don't remove my heart wall because I'm not sure right now if it's helping me do my job as a therapist. So I don't want to take the chance at the time, and I haven't asked the question, if I remove my heart wall, will I still be able to do my job? So I keep my heart wall intact. It's okay, I'm doing fine, but I can feel it there. So that's what a heart wall is. And a heart wall can have any of the 7 types of trapped emotions that make it up. So we can get rid of our heart wall, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for most of us. I myself don't want to, but that's just now. I probably will want to get rid of it later because I would like to experience all the joys and colors of life. I am a therapist. I don't want to wreck my career. So yes, so those are the different types of the trapped emotions. So what do? Well, we want to release them. Trapped emotions can cause us, of course, mental problems, depression, anxiety, you name it. A lot of different problems, even just a lot of pain from the past that we can't let go, can't forgive people because we've got these trapped emotions that are blocking up the way, gumming up the works, and we just can't move forward. So wouldn't you want to get rid of those? And this is a pretty easy and fast way to do it. When you would sit down, then you would focus on a particular problem. Let's say you wanted to be more confident, or you wanted to let go of past hurts. We would pick something to focus on, and then I can tap into your energy and I can ask your subconscious questions because your subconscious is going to answer with energy. It's just a positive or negative response. So if I ask yes or no questions, I'm going to get a positive or negative response. And based on the response that I get is the answer I'm given. And so if I say, is your lack of self-confidence due to trapped emotional energy, your subconscious is going to emit an energy from your body. And either that's going to be a positive, yes, or a negative, no. And most likely for something like that, it's going to be a yes. And then I can find out which emotions are trapped, and we have to satisfy the subconscious's desire for us to know certain things. Maybe it's how old you were when it was trapped, or where it's trapped in your body, or how many generations it goes back, or maybe even what was going on that you got it trapped in the first place. Whatever it is that the subconscious wants us to know, we will know, and then it will be time to let it go. I'll be able to say, is there anything else that we need to know about this emotion before we can let it go? And it will be either yes or no. If it's no, time to say bye-bye to that emotional energy. How do we do that? We do it with magnetic energy. So we happen to have magnetic energy in our own body. I'm guessing that's why when you rub a balloon on your hair or you shuffle across carpet, I mean, I don't know if that's magnetic, it's electric, but in my brain, seems like it could be due to magnetic also. I don't know, somebody will correct me. I didn't look it up. Uh, but we have magnetic energy in our bodies, and we could use a magnet, but we don't have to. There are rivers of energy that flow through us. Those rivers of energy are called meridians. We have one main river of energy that runs. This is interesting. This, I think, is not coincidental. It runs from the top lip, goes up around our skull, which happens to encase our brain, goes down our spinal cord, uh, and ends at our tailbone. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like the central nervous system to me. And that's the governing meridian, which is attached to all the other meridians, which the spine is attached to all the nerves, right? Like, you get an injury in that spine and something's going to stop working. So, yeah, I just think that's another indication that psychology and energy are meeting up. So, what we have to do is we have to have the intent to release this energy, because intent is also energy. And then we take that magnetic energy that is in our body and we magnify the intent and we send the magnetic energy through a portion of the governing meridian, and it gets to flow through and find anything that's ready to be released, and poof, off it goes. I mean, we see that with, if you accidentally get your phone or magnet too close to your credit card, what happens? It releases all the information, gone. It drives us nuts. But if you're as old as I am, then you remember audio tapes and you remember VCR tapes. We couldn't get magnets close to that either because it will release all the information. So we've seen all this stuff happen in our world, in our experience, and this is a very helpful way of using this to release yourself from some just awful hangers on, that we just can't seem to get past. So that is the emotion code in a nutshell. I'm hoping I didn't forget anything. If I did and you happen to be an emotion code person, you can let me know what it was that I forgot to say. But this is the emotion code, and it's super, super effective. So if you get a chance, go ahead, find yourself a practitioner. If it's me, woo. If not, then, just get yourself some of that and help. Um, oh, one other thing. Yeah, this can be done long distance like this. Like, we don't even have to be on screen together. We don't have to be near each other. I can tap into your energy wherever you are in the world. So it, uh, that's just the way it works. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for listening. And yep, drop me a comment if you want. Hopefully, I'll hear from you. If not, happy healing.